Hi, my name is Cynthia, and this video is all about sharing tips on how to write a winning Chevening essay. The Chevening scholarship basically has like 4 essay parts, of which one of the essays is on leadership, the other is on networking, the third is on studying in the UK, and the fourth is on your career plan. So I hope you listen and really learn one or two things from this video. Now, there are certain things that are expected of you in these essays, and I'm going to be giving you some hints on what I think you should focus on when writing these essays. For the leadership essay, it is expected of you, because Chevening scholarship is for leaders, it's expected that you demonstrate your leadership abilities in the leadership essay. You should be able to put in how you've been able to lead, perhaps at a senior level in the organization you work for, in an NGO, whatever place you've been a leader in. You should indicate that and tell us a bit about that in your essay. Another thing you need to do in the leadership essays, you need to be able to demonstrate how you've been able to demonstrate your influencing skills. So own the leadership essay, make it your own. Your leadership essay should be like about your story. What is unique about you? So for example, you can decide to include how you've led from your secondary school. Maybe if you were the social prefect or head girl or head boy or something, you can decide to add that in your leadership essay. But that's because you're trying to like build a story on how perhaps you started leading and how maybe you started developing your influencing skills at a very young age. So only put that kind of story if it's like really necessary about your journey. Now, a lot of things, one of the key mistakes I made the first time I applied to Chevening scholarship was because I had done a lot of things in terms of leadership. I was just trying to put in everything I have done. And the truth is, if it's not detailed enough, it's not about having like 10 things. If you put like 3 of them and they're detailed enough, or 4, it makes a lot of sense than putting in 10 things. For example, you can't just say, oh, I had a seminar with 10,000 people, and they were impacted and their lives were transformed. In my opinion, that doesn't really make sense. We need to be able to have more details. For example, oh, I had the program with 10,000 people at, perhaps you can decide to put the name of the venue to like really make someone understand and like really feel your story. I had a seminar with 10,000 people at the maybe Port Harcourt Stadium, and at the seminar they were able to learn about maybe entrepreneurship. And after the seminar, 20 of the people from the seminar were able to start up their own businesses and have grown their brands. And out of those 20 people, 15 are currently multinationals, multinational business owners. That kind of thing. We should be able to know, what did you do as a leader, what result did it produce. Not just about stories of how you led. So for example, if you had a program, we should know more about the program. Did it produce results? How did you know it produced results? So if you had an academic seminar, for example, you can't just say, oh, I taught the kids about mathematics, and they were so happy that day. Being happy that day, to be honest, doesn't really say so much. You can say, oh, they were happy that day, and at the end of the term they wrote their exams, and 50 out of the 100 students that learned, for example, were able to score at least a C in mathematics, and they were excited and have been able to scale through maybe their mathematics examinations at the national level. That kind of thing. There should be like details. What did you do as a leader? What result did you produce? How were you able to tell the results? For example, in this mathematics situation, it was their um, national exam, that was used as a measurement tool. So you should be able to be detailed to say what happened. For example, you can be a leader, let's say the manager of a certain NGO. You need to be able to say, oh, we had like a cancer walk, and at the cancer walk and awareness program, we had 1,000 volunteers, for example, and out of the volunteers, 800 are doing this and doing that. It should be like a bit more detailed. Again, if you're working in an organization, let's say as the manager or something, you can tell stories about how maybe the organization was trying to make a decision on so and so, and you brought so and so suggestion, and your suggestion was used, and it led the company to so and so level of achievement and all of those things. There should be like a bit of detail, not just I am the senior manager of a company. I had a program with 20,000 people, 1,000 people. I've traveled to this place and to that place. It should be a bit detailed. We should really feel like you really led in that organization. It should really demonstrate that you were not just there, controlling people. We should see that you applied profitable leadership skills into what you were doing, and it led to some sort of good result. It doesn't even matter if it didn't really lead to a good result, but you being able to narrate what happened, what lessons you learned, how you were able to maneuver the situation, or maybe lead tough people or unwilling colleagues or something, they just want to feel your leadership abilities. So in your leadership essay, it's your story on leadership. Be as detailed as possible. Try to give maybe like three or two key stories on your three to four, as many stories as you can accommodate, but each of them should really have the juice in it. It should be detailed enough to let whoever is marking it understand how you've really led and how you've influenced and the impact of your leadership, and to also know what kind of role you play in the organization you're leading in. Okay, in your networking essay, you basically need to show how you've been able to manage contacts and, you know, made it to something that was fruitful to both you and the contacts you have. So, for example, you go to an event, he meets me and we exchange contacts, and after the event we kept in touch and we came together to do a program. Maybe you volunteered for my program, and perhaps afterwards I volunteered for your program. We kept in touch, we shared information and all of those things. Those are some of the stories you should put in your networking essay, because at the Chevening program, you're going to meet a lot of people. Even in the Chevening community, you're going to meet a lot of people. Now, Chevening is interested in how you're going to be able to manage those contacts, those people you're going to meet, to, develop your country, develop your world. You need to show that you have strong networking skills. So, like this first example I talked about in terms of meeting me in a program and all of that, there's no harm in putting the person's name. Or I went to a maths conference in Port Harcourt and I met Cynthia and we exchanged contacts. That was perhaps in September 2016. By September 2017, we planned the program together. I volunteered at Cynthia's program, and we kept in touch, we shared ideas, kind of a bit detailed about how you've been able to use the contacts you have. Now, apart from that, you could also be someone that has a network of people following you on Instagram or Facebook or on WhatsApp or any social media platform. That's also networking. So you can give details on perhaps how you run a WhatsApp group of like 50 people, perhaps how you share ideas, or how you guys use that contact to be mutually beneficial to one another. So networking is all about meeting people and what happens afterwards, so that's just a simple way of putting it. So be a bit detailed in what you're saying. We should really know what happened afterwards. Was it positive? Was it beneficial to one person or to both of you? We should have details to know that you can really maintain contacts. So these are the kind of things that is expected of in networking. So again, another thing you need to do is demonstrate your willingness to meet people in the Chevening community, and to be able to work on something together with them. Perhaps your interest could be, I'm looking forward to being part of the Chevening program so I can meet people in my field and work on some projects with them. That kind of thing is just an example. So Give an illustration, demonstrate how you've used your networking skills, what outcomes it has brought out. Networking skills in terms of maybe professional program, social media, whatever platform you meet or interact with people, and then show us what that has really led to. The third Chevening essay is basically on studying in the UK. Now, this essay expects you to talk about your future career plan and how the master's program you want to go for is beneficial to you, your country, and to a lot of people. Because the thing about Chevening scholarship is it's not just all about you. They are making Chevening is making that investment in you because they believe it should be able to impact in the lives of other people. So this is more like you telling the Chevening community, how the Chevening board, how your master's program is going to lead to development of other people. Or so, for example, I studied mathematics education at University College London, and the reason I wanted to study mathematics education was because I observed, and over the years, there's been a gap on how students performed in mathematics and the kind of phobia they had in mathematics. So, my passion was to do the course so I can know how to better educate people because mathematics is the bedrock of science. Now, I need to be able to put this in why I chose to study mathematics education in the UK. So, saying this is just a way of demonstrating to whoever is reading, that I want to do mathematics education. I want to study mathematics education because I want to gain certain skills that can help me impact other people, build the nation, blah blah blah. Inside the studying in the UK essay, you need to talk about the schools you've researched. Now, before you apply for the Chevening scholarship, you should have some schools in the UK in mind. For example, UCL, University College London, was one of the schools I decided to study in for various reasons. Now, what is expected of you in this essay is to give details about, brief details about the school, why you chose the school, and why is the school important to you. It's expected that you give details about like 3 schools, um, perhaps in the same it's expected that you talk about like 3 schools maybe offering the same courses or similar courses. The courses should not be like entirely different in terms of like, oh, I want to go to UCL to study mathematics education. My second choice is I want to go to University of East London to study psychology, or to, it has to be like related. Now you need to give a bit of details on why you've chosen that school. So for example, in UCL, I chose the school because it's been the number one in education for like 6 years. They had some course models that I found interesting, like what is education. I really wanted to know more about what education is. They had a course which I saw on the website, understanding mathematics education. I really wanted to understand what mathematics education was about. So these were the things I included in my essay, and these are some of the things they expect you to include in your own essay. You need to show that you've really looked at the schools you have interest in. You need to show that something is really attracting you to this school as against, all the other schools in the UK. Perhaps you've read a research paper on one of the lecturers in that school. You can include it to say, I've been doing some readings on mathematics education, and there's this lecturer. She lectures at UCL. I'm particularly drawn to her research, and I'm applying to UCL so that I can, get the chance to meet her. She's my icon, she's my model, and learn a bit more about her current research or some things she's doing or something. I mean, there should be something attracting you to your school. So tell us about that in your studying in the UK essay. Then do this for the 3 schools you've chosen. Okay, so that's it about studying in the UK. Now, another thing you can include on the studying in the UK part of the essay is if you have any outstanding achievement in terms of academics. For example, if you won some award, you need to just show that you're willing to study. You've had some past record of outstanding performances. For example, after your university education, let's say you did an online course, online professional course for like 2 months, 1 month, 1 week or something. You can indicate it, to demonstrate that you've also been working on getting more knowledge. You did an online course and so, and you were able to get a certificate on this or something, or you published a book. Understudy in the UK is where you can talk about that. You say, I've published a book on so, just a way of you demonstrating your academic strength, academic enthusiasm, and academic passion. The fourth Chevening essay is on your career plan. In this part of the in this essay, you need to talk about how you have an ambitious plan, or an innovative plan to make a contribution in your sector. So that's the place to really talk about it, to say, okay, maybe like in 5 years time, I'm planning to do this, do that in my sector. For example, I'm in mathematics education sector, so I can say, oh, I'm planning to do this in mathematics in the education sector. I'm planning to key plans, not I will kind of plan, things you've already maybe visualized or thought about to do in that sector. So more like a plan of things you want to do. Another thing you need to include in the career plan area is you need to talk about why Chevening scholarship in particular. There are lots of scholarships out there. Why? How will Chevening scholarship bring you closer to achieving that your goal, and not just other scholarships? There are various reasons you could give. It could be the network of Chevening scholars. It could be so many things. It could be the fact that it's a prestigious scholarship award. Just find a reason to demonstrate why it is going to be the Chevening scholarship in particular for you. Something about the uniqueness of Chevening scholarship when compared to other scholarships. So why do you really want Chevening scholarship and not another scholarship? That's another way to put it. So demonstrate that and talk about how you intend to take advantage of the Chevening community to drive that goal, or talk about what you want to bring in to the Chevening community to drive a similar goal of maybe someone in the community, or the community itself. Another thing you can talk about in the career plan essay is to talk about the UK priorities in your home country. So find out what the UK priorities are in your home country, and like talk about them and how it relates to your career plan, just to like show that your career plan is in line with what the UK wants to like achieve in your country. That sort of thing. It's something you really want to put in the choice of career part of your career plan part of your essay. Lastly, in your career plan essay, you need to talk about how the Chevening scholarship will make you have like more influence in your country, and make you like have more achievements or have more influencing ability or something. For example, the Chevening community, the Chevening scholarship has been going on for years, and there are lots of people from your home country who are beneficiaries of this scholarship. So it's Chevening scholarship like gives you access to a pool of people who you can work with. You need to be able to like talk about this in your career plan essay. So talk about your ambitious or innovative goals or plans in terms of your career plan. Then talk about why the Chevening scholarship, what impact can it make in terms of being a catalyst to your career plan, and then talk about the UK priorities and how your choice of career or choice of master's program connects to the UK priorities in your country. So then in summary, what I want to say about the essays is your grammar has to make sense. Some people have bad writing skills in terms of not being able to express their sentences well, or making punctuation errors, or making grammatical errors that even like affect the understanding of what you're trying to communicate. So make sure that when you write your essay, you're able to edit it properly, perhaps make use of available editing tools. For example, there's the Grammarly. you could download it and install it on your computer and use it to edit your essays. So your content is very important, but how you pass the message is also very important. So you need to be clear, concise. You need to put your message in a way that whoever is reviewing it totally understands what you're trying to say. Your choice of words are also like very important, because they need to be words that don't have like so many meanings, that can have like one straight meaning to what you're talking about. Another thing you need to be conscious about in your essays is to paragraph properly. There should be like a sequence to your essay. Your essay should have a plan. I mean, everything should follow, everything should make meaning in terms of how you've arranged it, and not just talk about this, and then go back to talk about this. I mean, it shouldn't be like scattered. It should be very easy and enjoyable to read. One last thing I want to say about the essay sector is, make sure you're not writing like very long essays. I mean, very long sentences in your essay. Like, avoid writing um, writing a sentence as long as four lines. That's too long. It could the meaning could be lost like in between, because there's a lot of information being passed. So generally, your grammar should really really make sense, because it is as important as the essay you're writing. So thank you for listening to this, and I really do wish you the best as you apply for your Chevening scholarship. Thank you.